to do it. So hopefully you're excited to start looking into classes. And the next 2 weeks, you have to sign yourselves up for those electives and maybe make some adjustments to some core classes. So I'm going to get right into it. Here is where you would go. The student info on your student Aries portal account. So it cannot be your parents. Has to be yours, student account only. Course request entry. So when you click on course request entry, it's going to take you to this page. First thing to note is we have some classes that will automatically be pre-populated for you. So English 11 for this particular student is pre-populated. This is a sophomore going to be a junior. So there it is. English 11 has been recommended already by the English teacher, and we've got a pre-populated thing here. What you'll notice is it doesn't have an X next to it. That means it's locked in. We have locked that in because the teacher has already made that recommendation. If there is an X, so for example, US history, the student took world history last year. They've been placed automatically into US history. However, this student could particularly want to ballot for AP US instead of college prep US. So if that's the case, you would delete this and then you would just ballot and you would say AP US and you can just simply type it in right there. You also have the codes on your worksheets that we gave you. So then they would pick this. Now, the thing about it is if you pick AP US, it will go to your current social studies teacher and they will verify if they recommend you or not. So after all balloting is done, we have it from February 25th to March 8th. Then the following week, your world history teacher will get the list of all students that have balloted for AP US history and they will have to verify it. So it will go through that process still, and they'll have conversations with you about that. So just know that if you're balloting for AP US, it's going to still be upon teacher recommendation, just like it says on the worksheet for you. All right, and then the next one. So this student changed theirs; they put AP US, and we'll leave that. You can always go back and change it though if you said, well, you know what, I've changed my mind. You know what, I do want to take or just regular US history. All right. So then I just go into here, find the right code, US history, and click it back in there. Because once you see your whole schedule that you're requesting, you might decide, well, maybe I don't want to take so many of those courses or what have you. Then the next one is Honors Integrated Math 3. This student was already pre-populated into Honors Integrated Math 3 because maybe they're in Honors 2, getting a good grade, and the assumption is they're going to go into Honors 3. Again, this student can have the ability to change that though. Whereas we might find others where if you're in a college prep integrated math 2, going into just college prep integrated math 3 and not the honors particular section, that may be locked in. But if you're wanting to move up into an honors type section, you need to have conversations with your current teacher. You need to talk to them about that, and then they will let us know, and we can adjust that. We'll talk to counselors and do all that. So those are the core classes you get pre-populated into. But you may realize, hey, you know what? I need a science class. So you're going to see the science there, and the one I really want is physics. So I would say physics, and it's just the normal physics, not AP physics, and I would click that. But, if I don't get into physics, I would be okay, and I'll go ahead and I could put chemistry here. Sorry. There we go. Chem. So you're going to put chem. Well, that's chem in the Earth system. So that would be my alternate request. If I can't get into physics, I will put chemistry as an alternate. You don't want to put alternates. Well, this one they're already locked in, so they can't do an alternate. But U.S. history, you're not going to put an alternate there. Math, you're not going to put an alternate there. But for your electives, you will. Also, another thing is, let's say I want to take an AP computer science class, and I know I love, my friend's taking the comp sci principles, and I know I want to take that. So I'm going to click on that, and it's going to add it. Well, then I also know that, well, it might not happen for me. It may be impacted. I might not be able to get into that class. So I do want to look into a business class, though, instead. So I would pick small business management, for example. So I put this as my primary. But if I don't get this class because it's impacted, depending on my grade level and how many students have balloted for it and all that, I would be okay if this was my backup. So right now you see I have 3, I have 4, I have 5 classes. I need to have 6 if I'm just going to be in the regular school day. I need to have 6. Well, I also know that I'm a junior and I'm still working on that Spanish and world language requirements, and I want to take Spanish 3. This is a class that would need approval, but we will get those lists to the teachers after you have balloted for it, and then they'll verify for you. Again, having conversations. So you should, during ballot weeks, talk to your teachers about whether or not this is a class that you should take. Counselors will be available during lunchtime in the career center. They'll also will be running labs the second week for some help with this as well. Counselors will also be going into classrooms the end of the first week of balloting. So I believe that 27th, 28th, 29th, or 1st of March. So um, you will have options to see counselors as well, just to ask them some questions. They'll be verifying you've got 6 classes listed. As the paper says, you also need to make sure if you're looking at taking an A period class, so here's the A period option. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to look at those options. And so if we filter by A period, you're going to see things that are available for juniors in A period. So let me actually do an AA. All the A period options are going to pop up here when you plug in the right code. And what you'll see is if Spanish 2 we know is going to be offered jazz band. Obviously, that has to get approved by Mr. Modesto. Strength and conditioning is another one. If you know you're taking A period for the strength and conditioning, we don't want you to ballot and be choosing something else and then not going to that class. So if that's your purpose, then you make sure that you select those. However, we have this new option here. It's an alternate one, and you'll see that the description on your paperwork says, "I'm not taking Spanish 2, I'm not taking jazz band, I'm not taking strength and conditioning, but if a course was offered that I am interested in taking during a period, I would like to elect for that." So there's my additional option. And you want to make sure you click that. We may have, enough students opting for A period and taking a particular science course. Well, then we would know if we want to try to offer that A period science course. So that is basically your balloting. You will want to make sure that if you're asking to take an A period option, you need to have 7 courses listed. So technically, this doesn't count as a 7th course. So if you did add an additional 7th course here, then that would help us. So, then we would know. So, let's just say that I also know that I am an athlete and I wanted to get into, and I was in PE athletics and I'm going to take that course. So then now, because I have A period, I have my 7 options. This is just alerting us that you are interested in A period. If you pick jazz band specifically, or you pick Spanish 2 specifically, you don't need to have, you need just 7 options total. But if you pick this one, you'll actually need to have 7 classes, which counselors can help out with when they go into classes, and we'll be able to walk you through that. But I think that's pretty basic information. Hopefully this helped. Have fun.